Hello. Okay, so let's talk about mudras. Or if you're my father, reading it whenever I am writing about it, mudras. It's actually mudras. And you may or may not be familiar with this practice. It's a way of working with our subtle energies and using the physical body as an entry point. So mudras can be thought of as the physical yoga practice, so the postures of yoga, but for the hands. So the hands take on various shapes and postures and forms, all intended to bring about different physiological, psychological, physical, energetic shifts and changes to bring the whole system back into harmony. Each of the parts on the hand has various points and meridians that correspond with different organ systems, different systems throughout your body, different emotions, and they elicit different responses. So we can take different postures to create desired results, much in the way that our physical yoga practice with the rest of our body also does the same thing. And working with subtle energies, especially as sensitive and introverted, intuitive beings, is really a non-negotiable, like full body health practice daily, as far as I'm concerned. We really need to pay attention to and work with and clear and heal and ground and really tend to lovingly and compassionately our subtle energies. And the subtle is always creating the gross, always. So your intangible, unseen realms, your unprocessed emotions, your old, outdated identities and stories and beliefs are always influencing the creation of your physical experience of life. So your physical body and your experience in your body, as well as your physical experience in life altogether. And so while I am incredibly passionate about bringing very grounded, tangible resources to my clients and students, it's imperative that we really get into the subtle body, because all of those physical, grounded, or as some people call them, practical, as though the other stuff isn't practical, which is bullshit, a lot of those practices are only going to get you so far, right? Like we can throw all the herbs and all of the daily ritual and all of the kind of like physical, tangible things at something, but until we really dive into and work with the subtle building blocks that are constantly providing the blueprints and the guidelines for the creation of our physical experience, it's not really going to create sustainable, lasting change. And so one of my favorite ways to work with the subtle, that can also be a little gentler than some of the other ways, a little more accessible because you are using the physical body as an entry point, are mudras. Yay! And I'm creating this series and this playlist to share some of my most favorite mudras for the sensitive, intuitive, introverted soul and the unique challenges and needs that sliver of the population face. So working with the hands as a way of influencing change and healing through our subtle, unseen realms, which in turn totally dictates the creation of our physical lives. So a mudra practice is incredibly potent. So are all of the subtle energy practices and resources that I share, whether you're working with plant spirit medicine and flower essences from my line or from other places, or working with different journeying and other resources that I have shared. The key is consistency, and the key is really getting out of your own way and noticing what comes up. If there's resistance, if there is kind of cynicism or skepticism or disbelief, those are beautiful, and pay attention to them, because it's those little subtle things that are popping up in other places as well that are leading to the dis-ease that you're currently experiencing in your life. So mudras, beautiful. Everyone can do them. Literally everyone. They are so accessible, so powerful, truly. Working with the different ones I'll share, even just for a little bit, you'll definitely notice something. So paying attention to physical sensations and responses, emotional responses, noticing feelings that arise for you, especially if they feel a little bit out of the ordinary, right? If they maybe don't match what you would normally feel when you sit down to meditate or when you are trying something new, right? So those responses that may not necessarily fit the current environment, those are always good clues. Also noticing, like I said, those mental body stories, those little voices inside, those resistance pockets or those cynicism pockets, noticing those. And of course, noticing and continuing to lean in more closely to that subtle energetic or spiritual level to notice what is there for you. I'm so excited to share some of my favorite mudras, and be sure to subscribe and keep checking back for more resources to support your subtle body and your unique evolution and ascension as a sensitive, introverted, intuitive, empathic, magical being at this time on the planet. See you on the next video.